Hello everyone, welcome back to AdventuresOfWellUmMe, and today we're going to be talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Nintendo Switch. I really love this game. It was one of those games where, like, I'd played the original and I've spoken about that before, the re-release of the game on the 3DS, not on the Wii. And I'd played that before and I wasn't sure how that gameplay style would kind of go into this one. And what made this one different was the blades that you can attach. Oh no, the monsters essentially that you could have kind of assigned to each character, and they could have a certain amount of them assigned to them. That's kind of what the difference was for me. It is, you know, a typical role-playing adventure game. You've got different elements that are effective against other elements with styles of attacks, and it's kind of like, to me, it felt like a cross between like a traditional action RPG mixed with kind of like Monster Hunter, because there was a lot of big monsters that you had to take down that you kind of weren't able to for quite a while in the game. And I kind of got to a point in the game, like in the story, I haven't finished it, but I got to this point in the story where I was stuck trying to progress a mission to fight a boss or something, whether it was boss and mini-boss or just get through like a section with a couple of tough enemies. And I needed a certain ability to be at a certain level to get through a door or something like that, and I just didn't have that ability at that level, and I kind of just got stuck and couldn't progress in the story. I got quite far. I probably almost finished it, but that put me, like, I got stuck with that for so long that when I got back to playing it, I kind of just didn't get back into the groove, because it's like when you play a game, like especially things like, if you think of like Skyrim and all that, you play them for so long, you get so invested in a character and the story and all that, and then you take this massive break, and when you get back into it, you've lost that momentum. It was the same kind of thing with that. Because I just came in partway through something, I just didn't know where I sat with it. I'd kind of forgotten a bit of what had happened in the story, and it wasn't as enjoyable at that point. Granted, if I watch some Let's Plays of it, or just the cutscenes to catch back up to where I was, I'd probably enjoy it a lot more now, just because I feel like I just need to recap the story more so than anything else. But that's why I haven't finished it. But I love this game. I actually loved it so much that I got the Pro Controller for it. And it's the only Pro Controller I have. I deliberately went out of my way when I was going to go buy a Pro Controller with some gift cards to get the Xenoblade one, just because it looked really good. Like, I love the pink and green design on it, and I love like the X with the flames, and like I like how they've kind of translated that into a cross pattern on the controller with like Pyra's blade, because it's essentially Pyra's colours there that get translated through to the controller, not Rex's, who's the main character. But one thing that I really did love in this game, in terms of like the way the characters live, so they're all on like giant Titan-esque monsters, that's essentially what they live on, and there's this one with like the massive tree, and it's kind of like what's on the cover here. There's this tree up the top here, and it's just kind of like tying into a little bit of like Norse mythology with like the big tree, the Yggdrasil, I think that's what it is. And I love it when Japanese role-playing games take like the different mythologies and they bring them in and like incorporate that. That's what I loved about like Final Fantasy, like Odin and that as summons and things like that. I just love how they do that. And a lot of games do it really well. And yeah, I don't know. It is an enjoyable game. I think the one thing that is hard about the Xenoblade games is you can't fight the big monsters straight away. And if you kind of get in their path, they like target and track you down. And there's so many times where I've been just in the middle of a battle and then happen to accidentally target one somehow, and I end up getting defeated and having to go back to like the town, reloading that spot there, or essentially like fast traveling back there, blacking out and respawning there. And that was a little bit frustrating. I think the difficulty between that could have been fixed a little bit to allow for easier gameplay. So there's that as well. I do have Torn of the Golden Country, but I never actually played it, which is disappointing. And I kind of want to get like the physical cover case of it just so I can put it next to it, but that's spending money for no reason, pretty much. But I heard it was like a physical cartridge that you could get for Torn of the Golden Country if you purchased that. And if that's the case, I want to get that instead of it just being downloaded with the Season Pass. In case, you know, I ever want to play that when I haven't played it originally and I don't have an internet connection. Makes sense of that. I don't know. You know, it just looked nice, you know, on the shelf next to it, when it's all alphabetized, and then you've got Xenoblade Chronicles to Torn of the Golden Country just sitting there. I don't know. I'm a bit weird with that. Although some other collectors that I've watched have gone and done that instead of buying the DLC, and I wish I had done that instead of buying the Season Pass straight away and just waited to get that instead. Who knows? But I really did enjoy this. It was a good kind of over the summer game to play, and I put quite a few hours into it. It is a long game. The combat is a little bit challenging and different to a lot of games that I do play, but it was still enjoyable in that sense. Whoa, I've gone out of focus. That was weird. Great job, camera. Always doing me good. But yeah. I don't know where I am with this anymore, this discussion. It's late. It's late and I needed to get a recording done before I went to bed. But it is a good game. Challenging game. Oh, stop going out of focus. I'm here. Here. This is my face. See this? This. You're not focusing anyway. I'm gonna call it there. I'm tired. The camera's tired. Yep. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If not, don't press it. I don't know what I'm saying. Consider subscribing if you're not to see more content coming your way. Only for hardcore gamers that like really time-based things. Hardcore Japanese role-playing game things. You know what I'm saying. It's not for everyone.